Hey, Warpugs. So today we get to learn about a new SCP. This is SCP-953. Guys, thank you so much. I really do enjoy these earlier SCPs. They're my favorite ones, honestly. And at some point, once again, I've got to come up with another top 20 list. I did one a while back when I was first really getting into them, but yeah. This is 953. This is the Polymorphic human. And Imperial Wolf requested this in the Discord, and he said, this is one I would describe as pop culture causes mistakes. Oh boy. And judging by the thumbnail, oh boy. Let's just jump into this. Guys, the Volgun is, if you don't know, and if you've been with me for a little bit, you should know, one of the best SCP content creators, flat out. Period, okay? Highly recommend him for any of your SCP needs. Most definitely recommend Bodies in the Water. It still is my favorite SCP of all time. And it stems largely from the Volgun's voice acting and his presentation of that SCP itself. It is not a secret on this channel that this is my guy for this, okay? Like 100%. So, guys, check out the Volgun. I'm going to have his links in the description below. You owe it to yourself to check this guy out. And let's just get ready to jump right into it. Turn that up. I've been doing a lot of mic work lately, so my settings are a little bit off. Let's go.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Miller. And the SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-953. Object Class, Keter.
Okay.
Special Containment Procedures. SCP-953 is to be kept in a Type 4 containment cell 4 by 3 by 3 meters at the end of Hallway 99 at Site 17. The subject is to be provided the following: 1.5 kilograms of fresh liver daily for consumption, clean drinking water in plentiful quantities, and clean bedding, futon and blankets to be exchanged by the subject and laundered weekly. Small luxury items, plum wine, reading materials, etc., may be provided as an occasional reward for good behavior as part of psychological conditioning. Direct human contact with SCP-953 is strictly forbidden due to SCP-953's mind-altering properties. For this reason, all personnel must respect a 100-meter safe zone when the hermetically sealed door is opened. Delivery of food and other items will be carried out by an automated robotic assistant. Should containment fail, SCP-953 can be theoretically terminated by gunfire. However, due to its nature, recognizing SCP-953 may be difficult. Because of the inadequacy of purely physical containment procedures to control SCP-953, psychological containment is also necessary.
Joy!
For this reason, the approach to SCP-953's containment chamber is to be lined with open cage dog kennels, preferably of the Korean Jindo or American Foxhound breed. SCP-953 displays an extreme phobia of domesticated canines and will not pass within 10 meters of one, especially when canines are barking or alerted. SCP-953 is to be considered hostile to human life, dangerous, and armed at all times. Any transport must be done under the supervision of at least 6 armed personnel. Its preferred killing method is a barehanded strike to the abdomen, penetrating the abdominal cavity and removing the liver, which it will later consume. If given time, however, it will choose to linger over its kill, torturing its victim, as it seems to enjoy the infliction of pain upon another sentient being.
Why, though? Why are we See, this is why I could not be in the Foundation. I would have turned a long time ago. I would have turned a long, long time ago and simply put, just did this in myself, because why are we keeping this thing around? Like, this could be storage space, to be honest with you, but for some reason we're keeping this thing around. If it's this difficult and you already think that you could take it out, why wouldn't you do it? That's the biggest question for me. If it's this dangerous, why let it live if it shows this little compassion and care for anything else around it? That's my big question.
Description: SCP-953 is a red female fox, approximately 8 kilograms in weight, with a spine that splits around the 26th vertebra into 9 separate tails.
It's a kitsune.
Subject displays polymorphic properties, however, allowing it to take the form of various other objects and beings, most commonly an attractive Korean female. Subject will display some vulpine aspect: ears, tail, paws, eyes, fur, voice, mannerisms, in all its alternate forms. This can serve to identify the subject should it attempt disguise, although SCP-953 will attempt to conceal its tails through clothing and other methods. In addition to its polymorphic abilities, SCP-953 displays moderate psionic abilities, namely suggestion and telepathy. Although insufficient to fool an outside observer, an entranced subject can be convinced of a variety of false facts, including the nature of SCP-953, its own nature, and the nature of things around it. SCP-953 has used this in the past to, among other things, deceive police officers investigating reports of loud screams from a hotel room, convince a mother to roast and eat her own child,
What the hell? Kill it already!
Carry out upon Agent Ramsey's fiancée in full view of said agent, and succeed in the systematic murder of 27 attendees of YIFCON.
Why is this thing alive? Why is this thing alive, man? Come on, man. This is ridiculous. This is one of those SCPs I just can't understand why they're keeping it around. What possible good could it serve to keep this thing around? Like, this thing is demonic. Just end it already. End before furry jokes.
Addendum 1. Prior history. SCP-953 has been encountered
that is
by the SCP Foundation and its predecessors numerous times, with the first encounter having taken place in Busan, Korea, shortly after the Second World War.
Okay.
To date, SCP-953 has escaped and been recovered 6 times, resulting in the deaths of SCP agents during various incidents.
Oh, jeez, this is why the GOC exists, man. This is why the GOC exists, because you can't have this thing running around. It is so ridiculous. Why? It is just so stupid. My God.
After its latest...
There better be a really, really exceptionally, insanely good reason why they're keeping this thing alive.
Escape, SCP-953 was not heard of for over years, until suddenly resurfacing in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on June 2000 at YIFCON 20, which it had been attending in the guise of a furry enthusiast. Before being captured, SCP-953 carried out over 24 murders of convention staff and attendees, more than during any other single incident to date. The mutilated bodies were found in various places throughout the hotel, including inside a mattress, hanging from a shower curtain, and served as the main course at a hotel banquet. Surviving attendees were administered Class A amnesiacs and released from Foundation custody.
They're gonna... Oh, good Lord. You sure they didn't need more than that?
Foundation personnel assigned to capture SCP-953 after this latest incident noted that the subject appeared listless and apathetic and did not resist capture. No further casualties have resulted from SCP-953 from that date. Addendum 2. Special Emergency Order. As misidentification of her species tends to violently agitate SCP-953, all personnel are to be hereby ordered to refer to her as Kumiho and not Kitsune. Personnel asking what the difference is are to be reminded of the difference between a Cherokee Indian and a New Delhi Indian.
Oh.
05.
My bad.
Addendum 3. Personnel Staffing Revision. Following the unfortunate and completely preventable death of Agent Gallagher, any personnel found to have current or prior ties to the furry or otaku communities are to be immediately reassigned to other projects.
You can't take the Coomer out. You just can't. You can't do it. Oh my god. This is proof that you can put a cupcake in the middle of a bear trap and somebody will still try to grab it. I'm just saying.
05. Addendum 4. Folkloric Control Procedures. As a reminder, staff assigned to SCP-953 are to follow all instructions for interacting with the subject, no matter how odd or arbitrary they may seem. Keep in mind that people of Asia interacted with these beings for centuries before we came onto the scene. What we think of as fairy tales were their version of special containment procedures. 05.
I like that.
953 Interview A.
Had to back it up a little bit because my wife just started talking. She just came in. She just started talking. She does that sometimes, forgets that I'm recording. It's funny sometimes when it happens.
Procedures. 05. 953 Interview A. Interview with Capture Team, following initial capture of SCP-953 in the wild in 19... Interviewed. Agent... henceforth referred to as Agent.
Agent.
Addendum. As per the Wilkes-Booth Oswald Protocol, all information on 05's prior identity has been removed.
Okay.
Interviewer. Assistant Director, henceforth referred to as Interviewer. Forward. This interview took place on 2 days after the capture of SCP-953 on see SCP-953, Appendix 953-V, prior incidents, casualties resulting from. Agent was the only survivor of the incident, during which he accomplished the task of capturing SCP-953 alive. The following is a transcript of the after-action debriefing that took place following SCP-953's securement. Addendum. This transcript was digitized under the Foundation Modernization Directive. Confirmation of file integrity confirmed by tech operator. Some formatting, terminology, and compatibility discrepancies with modern interview logs may exist due to the restructuring of where
this is a life lesson for all of you, okay? This is a life lesson. I don't care how cute she is. I don't care how lovely she looks. I don't care how she's dressed, and I don't care what she says. If the girl has eyes that look like that, get your ass out of the area. Because some shit's about to go down. I'm just saying, okay? Look, you just know this. These are things that you know, okay? So I'm gonna do what your dad should have done and tell you this. If she has eyes like this, no, okay? At best, you're gonna get your car key. At worst, you're gonna wind up in the ER or in prison. I'm just saying that's what's gonna happen.
Possible current events have been appended. Begin log. Alright, let's begin. Please state your name, rank, and registry number for the record.
Agent 5th Squad, Eastern Division.
Thanks. Can you tell me what you remember about the events on and around?
Alright, where do you want me to start?
How about the beginning? Where were you when you got your orders? Thank you for clearing that up. Can you tell me what happened when you arrived on site?
Yeah, no problem. We got on site and we went to the morgue. Took a minute to look at the bodies. I used the cover story of a reporter investigating the crimes. I told them Agent 1 and Agent 2 were my photographer and assistant. Turns out they were thinking it was a wild animal, based on the nature of the wounds and eyewitnesses' accounts.
There was an eyewitness?
Yeah, a little old lady. Went out into the rice fields to take a piss and saw it eating her cow. She was more mad than scared, actually. Kept complaining about where she was going to get another cow in this day and age, the times being as tough as they were. She got a good look at it, though. Described it as Looking back, I think that's where the problem started.
Yay.
Can you explain?
Remember how Agent 1 and Agent 2 were both... But I was... The thing is, both our cultures have stories of these kinds of monsters in it. But it's different in these folklore. Their stories tend to romanticize. You get stories of monsters falling in love with humans and things a lot. Hell, they even joked about trying to score a wife out of this. Not in the stories my grandma told, though. That sadistic old bitch loved scaring me. And she's...
This is always a good sign when you use this verbiage to describe your matriarch.
We saw this girl sitting under a waterfall, combing her hair. Not naked. She had this thin robe on. Beautiful girl, too. But we knew it had to be her because of her feet. She was trying to hide them, but she wasn't doing it right. Agent 1 and Agent 2 smiled. Even I thought we had the edge on her. Oh, God. We were stupid.
Please, explain.
She knew we were after her. She knew we knew what she was. She was... It's like a spider. She was pulling us into a web. Pretended to let her guard down just enough so that we would feel smug in our overconfidence. I should have tried something. I should have done something.
Do you need a moment?
No, I'll go on. She told us that she had a cottage nearby, offered to serve us dinner, introduce us to the others. Why? God, why did I agree?
Because your dad didn't tell you to avoid girls that had these kind of eyes. That's what happened. I don't care about her paws either. You went along with this because your dad didn't tell you. I'm telling you. I will pass on the wisdom of experience.
Agent 1 and Agent
Don't ask how.
2 thought we should go with her. Said there was a chance that there might be others. She was lying. She knew there was no one else. She knew that we'd never pass up the chance to capture multiple out-of-place artifacts. She took us to this cottage. Pretty little place, old and rustic, but really homey. Took us inside, served us dinner. She was perfect. What that Agent 1 called it, a perfect wife. Demure, kind, sweet, respectful. Served us. I remember it was rice and pickled turnips and some kind of meat. I thought it was pork. Beef. It was delicious, though. Went to bed feeling sleepy and tired. Woke up and saw that Agent 1 wasn't there. Figured he'd gone to take a piss or something, so I decided to go for one myself. Went behind a bush and saw... Well, she was there with Agent 1 and... They were...
Please, go on.
Do you mind if I say this part off the record? It's not very...
As you wish. Thank you. What did you see after that?
She bit it off.
Please elaborate.
She just bit it off. All of it. And then she spat it out and showed it to him. Just so that he could see it happening. Agent 1 he couldn't believe it at first. Then he was trying to scream, but she torn his throat out with her teeth.
This is why. Heed my words, Warpugs. Damn it, man! Okay.
Then she made her hand like this and stabbed it into his belly. Agent 1 was gurgling and trying to push her off. He was bleeding all over the place, but she just pushed him to the ground and started working her fingers in his belly. Reached in deep and pulled something. It must have been his liver. It was the right shape and color. Just pulled it out like she was gutting a fish. And swallowed it whole.
Swallowed it whole.
Like a snake. Just one gulp. Like that. Then she started peeling his skin off like an orange or something. I didn't stop to watch. I ran back to the room and shook Agent 2 awake. Told him we needed to get going. Grab your gun. He didn't. I went for our weapons, grabbed my .45, and then Agent 1 walked in, asking what was wrong. So I shot him.
You shot him?
Yeah?
I saw him die. He was dead. She killed him. It had to be her.
Are you sure? Perhaps you were mistaken.
She tore his guts out and ate them. He was dead.
Yeah, no
And
kidding.
His eyes were glowing yellow. What the hell kind of human being has glowing yellow eyes?
I see. Please proceed.
Agent 2 grabbed his gun and pointed it at me. Started yelling at me to put the gun down. I was yelling at him to look at her, but he was screaming that he was going to shoot me in the head because I was a dirty... And he always knew I was one. And now I just proved it. That's when the bitch grabbed him from behind and the gun went off.
Oh, God.
This is when you were injured.
Yeah. He shot me in the arm. Fleshy part, upper shoulder. I fell down screaming and, God, it hurt so bad. Loud, cackling laugh. Oh, God, if I thought my grandma's was scary, this bitch, she was... If the devil were a lady, that's what he'd sound like. Ran for it. Crawled into the living room where we'd had dinner earlier that night and tried to slam the door shut. Rice paper screen. Not gonna help, but I needed something between us. Killed him and laid him out where the dining table had been. His eyes were wide open and his skin was flayed open. Like a butcher's... Oh, God. There were the bowls, the ones we've been eating out of, but the meat, it wasn't beef or pork, it was him. And the rice.
Oh, this is really delicious. Oh, yeah, this is, oh, good God almighty. Oh, this is going in the top 20.
Maggots crawling in his flesh.
Oh.
He'd have had to been dead for days. But how? We'd seen him at the base of the mountain just yesterday. I threw up. There were... Some of them were still alive. Crawling in my vomit.
Get this man about, I don't know, 20 pounds of amnestics and just hit him all at the same time. Blitz this guy's mind to the point where he don't even remember that Korea exists.
And I just...
Do you need a break?
No, I can do this. I was deep in the fairy tale. I just needed to complete it. I didn't have any... It wasn't much of a punji stick, but... It got her. Straight through the gut. Slowed her down a bit. Dragging myself across the river. Couldn't swim. Hit my head on the rocks. Went downstream at least half a mile through the rapids. She didn't even try to follow me downriver. Must have gone around because later had to be fire. The third was always fire. I got to the van about the time the sun came up, broke a window and went to the back. There was a flamethrower, defoilant projector there for sterilization.
Defoilant projector.
So I grabbed it, flicked on the sparker, and managed to get it around just as she came out of the tree line.
And that was when the retrieval team found you with the out-of-place artifact?
Yeah, they took her away and got me to a hospital. I had a raging infection for days. Not surprising, I guess.
One last thing.
What happened to you, bro? God, this data, the data corrupted parts are just criminal. Like, they are criminal, my guys.
You've been on the record as opposing the out-of-place artifact's termination. Given your personal experiences, I'm really not sure why you'd want something as dangerous as this to live. Can you please elaborate? I'm not sure I understand. Are you saying that you sympathize with her?
Sympathize? I don't know. No, I can't say that I do. She'd kill me just as soon as look at me. Just out of spite. Because she is spiteful. She'd kill me just to watch me die. But what she's trying to do, if she does it, then she's...
You are also on record as opposing her terms of confinement.
Because it's dangerous. Like I said, she's spiteful. Every little slight in her eyes saves up. And the only way she knows how to repay an insult is death.
Oh.
Chaining her to the wall like an animal. When she gets out, and she will get out, she is gonna kill everyone who had the slightest thing to do with it. She won't settle.
This guy's
for
dead.
anything else.
You have also paid her several visits in her holding cell.
Guaranteed dead.
Yes, I have.
What do you talk about? Agent, you had a harrowing, traumatic experience based around this individual. In order to survive, you had to, in your own words, get into her head, realize how she ticks. One might even say that there were some times you spent as her captive, during the hunt in the woods.
I don't know what you're getting at.
Have you ever heard of Stockholm Syndrome?
Yes.
Is it possible that...
No.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
No.
No. Just... no.
Thank you very much for your
He
time.
let her
Agent.
out.
End log. Closing statement. Agent is to be transferred to Site 51 for psychological analysis and debriefing. The out-of-place artifact in question is to be remanded to secure confinement protocols as indicated in Document 953, Aleph. On a side note, I am appalled by the level of superstition expressed by Agent throughout the course of this interview. I am recommending that his suggestions regarding containment be disregarded for a more scientific approach. We're not Korean fishwives here. I'm sure we can think of something more effective than dogs and needles. Assistant Director.
Oh, God.
Addendum. As of SCP-953 has made 3 escape attempts, each time resulting in the deaths of those operatives most closely involved in her confinement. Agent was approved to return to active duty on and continues to serve with the restructured Mobile Task Force Theta 3. You know, out of all the things that I thought I would include in an SCP lecture, Yif Khan never entered my head.
Yeah, same here.
Anyway, thank you all for listening, if indeed you still are, and I hope everyone's doing well. I know these are really tough times. Goodbye. I would like to give a special thank.
Okay. Just kill the damn thing. Okay? Just kill it. If you can do it, do it. I'm not sure why in the world you would want to keep this thing alive, considering what it does and what it has done. Okay? This is not an instance of like a mistaken intent, such as with the case with Not Another Murder Monster. This is not a case of nature versus nurture or anything to that extent. It's nothing like that. This thing just likes to hurt people and has no qualms about doing it in the most depraved, personal, horrific ways possible. At this point, you know, it's just time to be like, look, you know, it's time for somebody to just stand up and be like, look, it is time to finish this thing off. It is time to call it a day on this particular creature. Because, I mean, is there a tangible benefit? Is there an actual benefit to keeping this thing alive? That's the big question I would like. Like, I understand certain ones like Thalassophobia. I understand that one. I completely get why they would want to keep that one around. 100%. Because it doesn't do, like, there are drawbacks to it, but at the same time, there are massive benefits to having it around. I understand others. I understand containment procedures, but something like this makes no sense to me. Why would you keep this thing around and alive? Because it has broken out so many times, and every single time it does, it just goes on a murdering spree. And it doesn't do it for any real reason other than for kicks. Peanut doesn't do what it does because it's malicious. It does it because that is its nature. The Shy Guy, because he's a force of nature, he doesn't really seem to enjoy what he does. The Doctor does what he does because he thinks he's doing something beneficial. This thing's just an absolute piece of junk, okay? It's time to, like, stop the nonsense and just eliminate it. Warpugs, I'm gonna take off. All the links are gonna be in the description down below. Volgun's links are gonna be in the description down below. Go check him out as soon as you can. If you haven't already, subscribe to me, leave a comment down below. I'm gonna go just headbutt a wall for about 15 minutes over this SCP. My God, this is a prime example of why you know, you guys told me, like, you guys told me a long time ago that if I was in the SCP Foundation universe, I would wind up in the GOC, and I can't really argue with that facing this. I'll catch you guys next time.